Hello, hello. What is up, OFP family?
Hello, everyone.
It is where's everybody at? Can you show us some love in the comments?
Yes, please do.
By
We're
the
here.
way, what did you say, Andrea?
That we're here as always every week to talk with you, like everyone.
What's happening? I came from Georgia, the state, not the country. I remember you, homie. What is up, everybody? It is another episode of Forex Focus.
Yes. Today we have our 11th episode, and today we're going to talk about the impact of risk management on trading success. Right?
Yes. I'm hoping that my mic doesn't echo today, but it probably will.
Let's hope
Hello,
that.
Agostinho.
Hello.
And Akeem says, nice to meet you, Andrea.
Hello. Nice to meet you too. Hey there.
We appreciate you guys coming to hang out with us, and just have a little conversation about risk management. And Akeem, I don't think you've ever been live with us on our little chit chats here. Sometimes Barry is with us too, but he couldn't make it today. But usually, Andy will ask some questions and it'll kind of pique a conversation, and we might share some thoughts about what we think. And then we also like to ask you guys what you think too. We want to hear from you. We want you to share your thoughts with us, or share with us things that you have learned or things that you feel have helped you when it comes to your psychology, especially as a trader. So yes. Alrighty. So are you ready, Andrea?
Yes, I ask you the same thing. Are you ready for some
Did you
questions?
did you did you ask me that?
Yes, no, like I always ask you that before we begin with questions.
Oh,
That's what I
sí.
mean.
Is it
Perfect.
listo? Is it listo?
¿Estás lista?
Listo.
Lista.
Lista.
Yes, because you're a woman. So,
Oh, I thought like when you conjugate the verbs, you know what? Never mind. That's
yeah,
that's
like you can say like listo when something is ready, but like
okay.
an object. But you, as a girl, I ask you, ¿estás lista?
Sí, estoy
Per-
lista.
Perfect.
Andiamo.
Andiamo, bravissima. Okay, so the three languages at the same time, but here we are. Okay, so to start with the questions that I normally ask you about the topic of today. Okay, so to understand the role of risk management in trading, how does risk management play a crucial role in the success of a trader?
Okay, I want to tell you guys a story. Story time. You ready? Akeem, I don't know if you know my stories, so this will be a first time for you, maybe. Risk management is incredibly important. And the thing that's wild is that I didn't realize how important it was until like maybe 6 or 7 years into my journey. Um, when I first started as a trader, I had a mentor who told me, okay, every time you trade, you want to make sure that you don't risk more than 2% per trade. Akeem's like, yeah, I'm listening. Okay, this is just my story, right? So my mentor told me when I first started. So I first started in 2016, 2017 is when I really started to take it seriously. And I had a mentor who said, don't risk more than 2% per trade. Um, and then don't risk, more than overall 5%, for your whole account. But she didn't really get into deep details about what that even meant. So I would always do that. Um, but my reward was never consistent, right, with my risk management. So I would always risk 2%, but I didn't understand that if I'm risking 2%, I should probably be reaching for double that in my reward. Does that make sense, Andrea? Yes, is your mic
Yes,
muted?
it
Where'd you
does.
go, girl?
I'm here. Yes, it does. It
So
makes sense.
for a long time, y'all, I was risking 2%, but I wasn't trying to get double that. And so my risk to reward was off all the time. And I was having a difficult time being consistently profitable and a difficult time with growing my account. And I never made money as a trader, and I never really understood why until I understood why. So your question, right? Let's
Mhm.
let's let's kind of hash that out. How does that play a crucial role in success of a trader? It really determines whether or not you're profitable as a trader, because trading is a game of probabilities, and this is something that not a lot of traders understand. Math was not my favorite subject in school. I hated it,
Yeah, me too.
and I definitely hated anything with fractions or anything with probabilities. But it helped me tremendously to understand that it doesn't matter how many trade, no matter what I do, the market's never going to always be doing the same thing, right? So it's a numbers game. And so when you have proper risk management, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for the odds to be more in your favor than for the odds not to be in your favor. And this is one of the reasons why risk management, especially consistency with your risk management, is so important, so that those numbers end up evening out in the end, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. And thank you for sharing your personal story with everything that is here. And so, like, what are the potential consequences of neglecting a risk management in trading?
You don't make no money.
Well, yeah.
No, hold on one second. Okay. No, wait, stop.
It's just the echoing again.
Testing.
We'll be back in a minute. Please bear with us for everyone watching.
All right. That's better.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Agostinho says, Akeem says, I like the 3-to-1 risk to reward. Love that. So does that mean, Akeem, that you're risking 1% to gain 3? And Agostinho says, I think a good risk management plus he said more than 3. So 1 to 3. Okay. So you don't like a 2-to-1, Agostinho. You prefer a 3-to-1. And that's okay too. That's okay too. Um, all right, let's get back to Andrea's question. So Andrea said, can you explain what are the potential consequences of neglecting risk management in
Mhm.
trading?
Yes.
Um, it's pretty simple. Without proper risk management, you kind of put yourself in a position to struggle with being profitable consistently as a trader. Um, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. You have to be consistent. You have to protect your profits, especially if you want to see yourself be able to grow your account and be able to actually take any money from what you're building in your account. So risk management is super, super importante, Andrea.
Yes, it is. And now, like that, now that we're talking about important things such as this, can you explain the concept of risk reward and the risk reward ratio and its importance?
Yeah, so the guys were just talking about it in the comments, actually. They were talking
Yeah.
about like how they prefer like a 3-to-1 or a 1-to-2. So Andy, what that means, and for anybody who doesn't know what that means, right? It's simply I'm making a decision to risk 1% of my overall account for the
Yeah.
potential to gain 2% or 3%. Why that's important? Because let's just say, Andrea, you are somebody who, I don't know, for every 10 trades you take, you only win maybe 5 or 6 of them. Okay. So when you are setting yourself up with the the proper risk to reward ratio, it doesn't really matter how many times you lose or what your win rate is, because if you have really good risk to reward ratio, you're still going to always end up profitable at the end. So the
That's
idea as a trader is we want to make sure that when we're taking trades, we're doing everything in our power to maximize our winning trades. Like we want to take full advantage of our winning trades and maximize the amount of profits we can make on that winning trade so that when we do lose, we don't really lose as much compared to our wins.
mm-hmm.
Thanks, Hakeem. I appreciate you. Let's see. So Agostinho says, but if you don't have a good profitable strategy, it will not technically it won't matter if you have good risk management. Here's the thing though, Agostinho, I have seen traders who have a 30% win ratio. So they lose a lot more than they win. And they're still profitable traders because when they win big. And when they lose, their losses are smaller, even though they're losing more of their trades, if that makes sense, Andy.
Yes, it does.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of how that kind of balances out. And that's why it's really important. Managing risk, I definitely would have to say is really important because you could be a terrible trader, but if you've got good risk, you can still end up profitable. It does happen.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. I didn't imagine that. I don't know. It's something
No,
interesting to me.
most people think you always have to win every trade.
Yeah.
uh, or you have to win at least like, I don't know, 70% of the time. That's not true at
Hmm.
all.
Hmm. Something new that I learned today because like
Hey,
I always thought that like to be a successful trader, you always have to like win somehow. But maybe if you have like it can be like different ways of winning or like yeah, like having a success in some kind of way. Are you
yeah,
echoing?
I don't know. Am I echoing? Hello, hello. No, I'm
Are
not.
you?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
perfect.
No, it
Okay,
doesn't
so
work. Go ahead.
I know, but I don't know but why I don't know why, but when you say that you're echoing, I cannot hear it. But then maybe the people that are watching, maybe you can hear it. I can't. I personally can't. But I trust you when you say and you're echoing. So you tell me whenever you're ready for the next question. Ready? Perfect. Okay, so the next question that I have for you is what causes traders to avoid practicing proper risk and why do some traders struggle to implement effective risk management strategies?
I have one word. Hold on.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, do you do you remember? Hold on.
Bear with us, guys, please. The conversation is really interesting. We promise.
I'm sorry, guys. It goes sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Do you guys remember that game show that used to do that song? Do 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 do. We need that whenever I need to pause for a minute.
Let me look for it. Wait, I will look for it, and I will. I'm not kidding. What was the name of it? I don't know.
I don't know the talk show. I don't know the talk show. Patience with profits. I appreciate you, Akeem. You're a real one. So the one word that I was going to say, Andy, is greed.
Great. Okay.
Do you remember when we had that conversation about different emotions that traders struggle with and how greed
Yes.
and fear are the two most common emotions that we struggle with? You're
Yes.
either you're either hungry to make the money or you're like second guessing yourself, you're second guessing your analysis, you're second guessing your strategy. And so that keeps you from making decisions in the markets. You end up missing on moves. But when it comes to risk management, greed plays a major role. And a lot of times for a lot of traders,
Mhm.
um, it's just greed, their struggle with greed. And also just being overconfident in their trading analysis and just wanting to kind of put all their chips on the table, kind of like how you do when you go to the casino.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just want to you just want to put all your chips in the table, like, oh, I'm feeling
Like
lucky
a big
today.
cup. Yes.
There's ain't no feeling lucky in trading. Okay,
No.
the markets will humble you. One, two, three. You will be humbled. Then Jeopardy.
So you have to be careful and not be like greedy and like, yes, today I'm feeling that I'm going to win $1 million or something.
Yeah, so I think
Like
really
you
it's
have
just
to have like a strong mindset to not make those impulsive decisions.
yes. What do you guys think? I'm curious to hear from you guys who are watching, right? What do you think is a reason why some traders struggle to implement effective or consistent risk management in their trading? I want to hear what you think.
Yes, please, please do.
Yes, Akeem, it was Jeopardy. You're right.
Let me look for it. Let me see if it's this one. Can you hear it? No. Okay, so we have the song in, and just in case your mic starts to echo again, I'm ready. I have it here. All right. Thank you so much, Akim.
All right. So I feel majority just don't understand. Hold on.
Yes, thank you so much. We found it. The
I feel
song.
majority just don't understand how to apply it. That was true for me. I just didn't understand how to apply it. It wasn't explained properly to me. It was just like, here, just risk 2%. But nobody explained to me, but when you risk 2%, you want to try to make 4%. You know,
Yeah.
that is the part that was missing. And that was the part that was missing for me for years, y'all. To the point where when I finally figured it out, I was like, for real? Dang. Yeah, HT says greed and need of money. I agree. I agree. Greed, I mean, people listen, especially when you're like an amateur trader, right? You're new, you see the opportunities. Um, a lot of us, when we come into the markets, especially depending on what you're going through in your life, sometimes what you're going through in your life can drive you to make certain decisions in the markets because maybe it's not so much greed that's driving you, but it could be desperation that's driving you. Maybe you have a sense of like, man, I need this money. I need to make this work. I need to make this happen because I don't know, maybe I got to pay medical bills, or maybe my mortgage is due, or I'm going to lose my house, So sometimes things like that can drive people too.
Right.
Uh, but essentially it's all centered in those emotional drivers within us, that makes us kind of want to like throw the rules out the window. Until we throw the rules out the window enough times, and it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
good. Has anybody in here blown an account? Who here has blown an account? Type a
I'll say.
one in the chat if you have blown an account before. And while we wait, Akeem said, of
Of course.
course.
And then HT says one.
Yeah. Agostinho, have you blown an account before?
Oh, good.
I'm putting you on blast, Akeem. And hello. How do you
Hello.
pronounce? Is it Usmain? Usman? I am from BF. What's BF stand for?
Um,
Somebody help me out.
I don't remember.
Guys, I've never blown an account.
Is it
Personally.
Burkina Faso? I don't know.
Did you look it up?
Yes, I googled it, but I don't know. Please confirm.
I don't know. Let's see. I was just gonna share. I've never personally the Jeopardy song.
Oh, you know.
Agostinho, Agostinho said yes, he did blow an account.
Here it is. Here it is. Thanks for reminding me.
Um, Agostinho said yes, he did blow an account. I've never blown an account, guys, but there was one time I took a trading signal. This was years ago, like when I first started trading, and I took a trading signal and I got so excited about it, right? Because I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a trading signal. They know what they're talking about. They know the markets. I might not know, but they know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put like a huge lot size on it, y'all. And I was like, yeah, the trade was going really good too. So I was up really like in the green. And then it started to turn around and go in the opposite direction. You know how it goes, traders. You know that feeling, right? And then all of a sudden it turns around on you and you're like, oh, but wait a minute, it's going to go back. It's going to go back, right? So you stay in the trade and then it doesn't go back.
Mm.
It does not go back. That is what you call marrying the trade, and you never want to do that. And that was the day I learned you don't marry trades. You don't do it.
Okay.
All right. You ready for the next question, darling?
Yes, I am. Like
Let's-
how we talked about all of these like psychological things that can influence in someone's like perspective to make a not so smart decision, and how can traders overcome these psychological barriers, like.
Honestly, I think one of the best ways to overcome them is to train yourself, train your mind. And there's a couple ways. Number one, train yourself in understanding how the markets work, or just understanding the psychology and the behavior behind what drives the markets. That made a huge difference for me. Uh, you know, I would have people tell me all the time, you should read a book about trading. You should read a book about, certain things. And I would always refuse to do it. And I don't know why. But the crazy thing is, when I finally made the decision to actually stop being lazy and pick up a couple trading books, it made a tremendous difference in my psychology, simply because it helped me to change my perspective. Like, I was able to understand the markets from a very different perspective. I was able to understand what other retail traders are thinking when they trade,
Yeah.
what major financial institutions might be thinking. Um, and so it changed how I would approach the markets. And it also helped me to understand the whole game of probabilities also. Um, so I would say taking the time to give yourself the opportunity to shift your perspective by understanding the markets. And honestly, that can be done by reading certain books, that can be done by listening to certain podcasts that kind of shed light on some of those things. Um, Also, let me see. Hold on one second, Akeem, and I'll share that with you, friend. Yes, I did fall for the okey doke, but we all fall for the okey doke. So
What's that? What's that?
it's like, when I was talking about how like I married the trade
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get out when it started to change direction.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of fell for the trap.
Okay. 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 So that's the name of it.
Yeah. Um, so overcoming psychological barriers, another thing that will help tremendously with that I have found personally, and maybe it's different for you guys, okay, but for me personally, back testing. That was another thing that I didn't do for a long time. But
Mm-hmm.
I noticed,
What?
you know, the echo.
Oh, wait.
Woo! Well, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna figure this out.
But in the meantime, we have the Jeopardy song.
Yes.
Yes.
Back testing helps tremendously because it trained my brain to see how many times a certain strategy would play itself out and win as opposed to when it was losing. So when I would enter the markets, I already entered with the markets with the understanding and the expectation that this could be a losing trade, but that's okay because I know on average I'm going to win at least 6 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that really kind of helped with some of those barriers, those struggles, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
We've got some comments here. So let's
Yes.
take a look at what some of you guys are saying. All right. So Agostinho shared he hates challenges and small capital. Hey, listen, I completely understand. What's your most recommended book? Gosh, we shared some books on one of our most recent episodes.
Yes.
Uh, I mean,
I
my
think
go-to,
it's the ninth episode, if I'm not, if I remember correctly. But in one of our last episodes, you talked about some books.
I did, and they might also be listed in the description.
Yes.
Um, but honestly, the one book that I keep on my Amazon Kindle, my Audible, and I listen to it every so often, which I probably need to listen to it again. Trading in the Zone. I'm sorry. I know that's a common one, but it's a good one. Because I really loves I don't know if you've ever read Trading in the Zone, Akeem. If you haven't, I recommend it, and I recommend you read it more than once. I recommend you listen through it and then listen through it again and then listen through it again. Okay. Just you really got to give your subconscious mind an opportunity to really soak that information in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Love how he talks about the importance of having a winning attitude. And I really love how he lays out understanding probabilities in the markets too. And I need some water. Give me a second.
Wait, are you guys ready for the song? Wait.
We
Here
don't
it is.
need it. We don't need it.
While you're drinking water. You don't want to drink water?
I think I'm okay.
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 Whenever you put to pause, I have it here. The sun. I always have it. I'm ready for that.
No. So I'm fine with psychologically when I trade big capital. Do you think, Rhea, that this is something wrong? No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But here's something that I would tell anybody that I learned personally that I would tell anybody. Um, I think that's first and foremost, I think that's very interesting, Agostinho, that you feel different psychologically when you trade big capital. For me, though, I learned that if I could not trade small capital, then what makes me think I can trade big capital? If I can't prove to myself that I can be consistent with how I'm approaching the charts, how I am, you know, handling my trades on a smaller account, then what makes me think I'm going to be different on a bigger account? And maybe for you, Agostinho, maybe you're different. But for most traders, that's not the case. For most traders, they get a little too excited and overconfident when they have access to more capital to trade with. Because again, the more capital you have to trade with, the more of an opportunity you have to make more money, right? So
Right.
I'm throwing all my rules out the window. No, I'm just kidding. But that's how that is how some traders do think. Especially if they're still learning how to be more disciplined in the markets. So I do think that's very interesting about you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for me, if I were to mentor somebody, I would always tell them to start small and work their way up. Because if they can do it on a smaller account, then they'll be able to do it on a larger account. Um, so that's my take on that. And let's see. Well, we are so glad to hear that, friend. And we look forward to having you with OFP. So thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Akeem was cracking up when we did the Jeopardy song again.
He's a fan.
Ultimate Day Trader. Yeah, I have to look back at that list. But if you go back at our previous episodes, I think that there's a whole. Sorry, guys.
Do we need the song again?
No.
Okay. All right.
Cola. No Coca-Cola for me, Agostinho. No me gusta.
Okay.
Do we
Está
have any
bien.
more questions?
Yes. Yes. So now that we talked, like about the psychological barriers that some traders can experience. Now, how can we, how can traders, how can this risk management can help their mindset? Like, how does risk management contribute to a healthier trading mindset?
I forgot how I wanted to answer that. But I think it kind of goes kind of in line with what we were just talking about just a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it helps, to have like a risk management plan that you're consistent with. Because it helps you to always know what you're going to lose. There's just, you kind of create that sense of consistency of, I know no matter what, that this is what I'm risking on each trade and this is always what I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that helps me a lot, tremendously, especially if you're able to stay disciplined with it, with your, with your approach to your risk management. It helps a lot. So I just think something as just simple as that, just not having this I don't know, like not getting surprised by the markets, I guess, like because you're always sticking to the same thing.
Mhm.
It just helps to do the same thing all the time, like a robot. Why do you think bots are so successful? Well, I don't know. I hear they're successful. Are they successful, guys? Does anybody use a bot? I've never used I've never used a bot before,
But that's
but I
what you hear.
but I hear they're so successful simply because they just do the same thing all the time, every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
Whatever you put into the system and tell them to look for and tell them to do, that's just what they do. Whatever you tell them to risk, that's just what they do. So
Hmm.
it's like I think it helps tremendously um, if we can kind of help ourselves go into a similar headspace.
And this can like reduce stress and emotional like problems or something to, or maybe the when some traders make some impulsive decisions that then have consequences, bad consequences.
Yeah. And Akeem added too that it gives clarity, which I would agree. I would agree
Yeah.
that it helps with providing clarity as well.
Thank you, Aki, for being so
Active. See
active and
this?
participative.
I see this has been fun today, Andy. We need a
Yes,
soundboard. We need a soundboard. Yeah.
yes,
And we'll add the Jeopardy song to it.
yes, yes. And I will always be ready to like,
Hit the button.
yes. Like whenever you make like a small pause, I will be like, no, just kidding. Yeah. I have one more question for you, the final question, and then you can you can breathe a little.
Okay, what's up? My head's itching. Okay, go ahead.
Are you okay? Okay. Um, okay, to sum all this up, like what are some practical strategies you can give to everyone that is watching right now, or maybe someone who watches this episode later? What are some practical strategies for implementing effective risk management in their trading, in your trading?
Um, we've already talked about some of them, the most common ones. Um, so, which is always going for a 2 to 1. So, always risking at least 1% to gain at least two or three if you can, but a 2 to 1 is good too. So you're going to gain, your goal is to gain 2%, but you're risking 1%. You always want to make sure that whatever you're risking, your reward is going to be greater than that. Never take a trade. Before you go into a trade, you should already know what your risk to reward setup is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
I never take a trade if my risk is going to be greater than my reward. I don't even waste my time. So never take it. I would never encourage anybody. This is just me, but I would never encourage anybody to do that. Um, for sure. Also, there's also a strategy that I do sometimes. Actually, I've actually been doing it quite consistently lately, and that is um alternating with my risk management. So what do I mean by that? So if I like risk 1%, on one trade to gain 2%, I might risk half of a percent on the next trade to gain 1%. So that is another thing that some traders do too, where they kind of alternate. So instead of just always doing 1% to gain two, um, freeze. Maybe I need a headphone. Um, Sometimes they'll risk less, especially
Mm-hmm.
if they lose a trade. If they have a trade where they lose, maybe their next trade they might, go a step lower on their risk on a trade. So that's another way that people like to kind of, strategize with their risk management so that they can protect their capital that they're building in their account.
Mm-hmm.
A preferred lot size, Akeem, that's actually a really good question, friend. That depends. Lot size is really, it depends. Um, it depends on what your risk is, so how many pips you're risking on your trade. So let's say you're only risking, your lot size is going to be different if you're risking 50 pips versus risking 100 pips. Obviously, the bigger the stop loss, right? The bigger the stop loss, the smaller your lot size needs to be, if that makes sense. So it really just depends on the type of trade it is. It depends on the kind of trader you are. For example, me, I'm more of a swing trader. So, or kind of a swing trader in a sense. But for me, I mean, my stop loss in pips could be anywhere from 70 pips to maybe 150 pips on average. Okay. If my stop loss is 70 pips, right, and I calculate it, I don't know, do you use the what's that app called again? Hold on. Do you use the My FX book? I use My FX book. I don't know what you trade, Akeem, so and I'll put it in the hold on. So I use My FX book. My FX book has a calculator that allows me to calculate my stop loss, right? So it'll allow me to choose what pair I'm trading. So everybody knows I trade Euro Kiwi a lot. So, okay. Now my FX book, what you'll need to do, Akeem, is you'll need to find a calculator for US 30. My FX book doesn't provide a calculator for US 30, but it will provide, or NAS 100, but it will provide a calculator for the Australian dollar against the Canadian. And so in that, with a calculator, what you're doing is you put the instrument that you're trading, you put how big your account size is, then you put what percentage you're risking. So if you're risking 1%, and then you want to put what your stop loss is going to be. So these are things that you need to know before you enter your trade. And then what the calculator will do is the calculator will tell you what your lot size should be based upon that information, if that makes sense. So like I said, for me, if I'm trading Euro Kiwi and maybe this particular trade, my stop loss is 75 pips, right? Versus on another trade, it's 150 pips because I'm going for 500 pips on a reward, right? I'm holding that trade. I'm trying to catch 500 pips. You gotta keep in mind, I'm a swing trader. So I'm in trades for a week to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I trade a little bit different. But essentially, your lot size is not always going to be the same unless you always risk the same in pips. So if you're always going to risk 50 pips on every trade, so let's say 50 pips is risking $100 every time, right? Then your lot size needs to always be the same. But check out those calculators. My FX book is a really good app to add to your phone. You can use that for any Forex pairs you trade. And then you may want to Google like a US 30 calculator or something like that. And that will also help you calculate those things too. And I hope you find that helpful. Whew. Were we done? Did we have any other questions, Andy? ¿Ya? ¿No más?
Wait, sorry. No, those were all of the questions that I had for you. So I don't know if anyone else has any questions for Rhea in the chat so that she can answer them.
Akeem says, how often do you view the charts while you're in a trade? I check it at least once every day. Maybe twice actually. So I'll check it during the New York session in the morning, and then I'll check it during Tokyo in the evening before I go to bed, just to kind of see where things are going. But I don't keep my eyes glued on my charts like that. Sometimes what I'll do is I will set alerts to pop up so that if price crosses a certain point, I know, oh, I should probably get out this trade.
Okay.
Things like that, so that I don't always have to be glued to the charts. I can't be glued to the charts. You know, I work full time. I'm here having a lovely chat with you lovely people. I ain't got time to be on the charts right now. So yeah. So yeah, in the morning during New York, in the evening for me during Tokyo, and then also I'll set some alerts to kind of let me know when I need to take a look. Ah, we may have to talk about that, Akeem. See what's going on over there with you. Hit me up on Discord. Are you on Discord? Find me on Discord, my friend. We could talk about it. All right, guys. Whew. Man, this has been such a lovely, lovely session.
Yes.
A lovely little chit chat. By the
Yeah.
way, Andrea and I are getting new cameras.
Yes.
You guys are about to see me in 4K vision.
Yeah. So for next episode, we hopefully will have better, like quality, because as you can see, this is not okay. So we are
Right.
really like we want to we really want to improve our images and like our sounds or and everything that you see when you tune in with us in this on this podcast. So yeah, get ready for
Yeah.
that to
This
see
looks
us
like
with a better quality.
we're stuck in the Matrix, Andrea.
Yeah, just look at this.
Like I
Maybe
just need to go back in slow motion.
with that, yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm dodging. I'm dodging bullets. No, just
Yeah, the
kidding.
bullets. No, but for next time, we promise that you will see us in a better
Hopefully be.
quality because this is not okay because we want to bring every one of you like the best experience possible with this
For
podcast.
sure.
And if there's, do we have any other questions? I don't think we do.
Yeah. Whew, I don't think we've been on for this long. So,
Yeah.
but I've enjoyed it. I really love connecting with all of you. I love getting to know you all as traders. I love talking with all of you. Um, so thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, because this would be very boring if it was just me and Andrea. I mean, no offense, Andy, I love you, but
No, but I know what you mean. I see what you mean. It's a little more entertaining and like better to have an audience
yeah,
and people interacting with this content. So thank you
for sure.
to everyone that is watching right now. Thank you so much. We really
And
appreciate it.
if you guys got any value from today's topic, be sure to give us a big thumbs up on YouTube. And if you aren't already following us, be sure to follow us. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that when we do go live, you are notified right away.
Yes.
Akeem, we look forward to having you and having you a part of these conversations. Hopefully, Barry will be able to hang out with us some more in the future, because he's always, you know, he's always fun to talk to too. So,
Yeah.
and with that,
And yeah, with that, we say thank you for tuning in with us, guys. And lastly, stay sharp, keep a winning mindset, and remember that with Forex Focus, success is just one trade away.
one trade away. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Bye.